Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Mass Reviewer back again with another review. It is currently 3:52 a.m. and I am very excited to speak about this movie, John Wick Parabellum. That is right, the third John Wick film. I just finished watching it about 10 minutes ago, and I am just so excited to talk about this because this is the best one so far in the franchise out of the rewatches that I'm doing. And yeah, so with that said, let's just get right into it, starting off with the characters. The characters in this film are just great. They're the best ones in the franchise so far up to this point. John Wick, as usual, just absolutely just a wonderful protagonist to follow along with. In every scene he's in, he's just like gunning people down. He's just always in these scenarios you just want to follow him and see what happens to him. And also you got Winston, he returns. Sharon, he's back. They're always good. You have, in this one specifically, you have Zero. He's a new character. He does a very good job. He's like this, he's an assassin. He's very like, he wants to relate to John Wick and stuff. And he has like he does have like these kind of like moments where he comes off as like kind of, not really comedic, but he is like trying to, it's clear that they used him for like some more comedic moments in the film, but it doesn't feel like off-putting. It doesn't feel like it clashes with the genre. It still feels like in place. Yeah, Bowery King, he's back. Lawrence Fishburne does a great job once again in that final scene where you have King's character just like saying like, telling John like how pissed he is about what happened and stuff. Just wonderful. You got some great cinematography shots of him sitting in the rain. The Adjudicator, she's in this. She plays this like wonderful representation of the high table. Just this really soulless, not very expressive character where it's like, she does show expressions, but like she's very clearly like very impassionate towards like all the violence and stuff, and just she's a great representation of the high table. Sophia's in this, played by Halle Berry. She is also very good as this person from John's past that clearly does not want to get involved. She she distances herself from her daughter just because she doesn't want to put her daughter in danger and stuff, and she clearly does not want to be involved at all in this, but she still helps out John, even if it's unwilling. Other than that, you have, who else do you got? That is pretty much all the main characters, and yeah, so you also got the director, the person that John goes to use his ticket. You also just got like a lot of factions in this. You got the ninjas, you got the Casablancan soldiers and stuff. You got the Russians, you have all the assassins at the start of the movie. You just have all these like great factions that are all just clashing and stuff. And so overall, I'm gonna give the characters I'll give them an, I'd say 8.5 out of 10. I would say that they are all amazing, and there's no one really bad that I can think of. Nothing comes to mind when I think of any bad characters. I think really Zero, he is the real, besides John, obviously, I think Zero really just steals the spotlight in a lot of the scenes that he's in. And yeah, Winston is also like in this movie specifically, like I think he's the best. Winston and Sharon, they like play like a much bigger role in this one, it felt like, compared to the previous two films, where in the last two they were just kind of helping John, and this one they're specifically like involved with the plot, because clearly in the last movie Winston, he kind of went against the high table, and now he's paying the price for it. So yeah, just 8.5 for the characters. In terms of the plot, I'm gonna give it I'm thinking 8 to an 8.5. I think it's between great and amazing. It is it's pretty simple for a plot, but it's like it works very well. It's like you have John Wick, he's being hunted by just everyone at the start of the film, and then he's like, okay, he needs a way to get out of this, so he uses his ticket, this like medallion that he has from his past, and he uses it to get to Casablanca to meet with a person that he has a marker with, and he uses her to get to meet to her boss, and then her boss can tell John where he can meet with like the high table, the one who sits above the table, and then he goes there, and then to like try to get out of excommunicado. And so basically the entire like first half of the movie is like John just trying to get out of excommunicado, and then when he finally does, he's like tasked with killing Winston, and then finally he decides he's not going to kill Winston, he's going to go against the high table, and then it's a very like pretty simple, straightforward plot, but it's very effective. So I would give it I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna be a bit harsh with this. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I would not give it an 8.5. It's not amazing. It's not like the most complex plot ever, but I think it is still great. I would say it is a great plot. in terms of the settings, the world is just, once again, it's beautiful. You got the rainy night skies in the city. It just looks very good, all of it. I really liked. I will say, I do think Casablanca, it looked a bit worse than the rest of the movie. Like I really liked the whole the rainy city, colorful setting that they were using like in the start of the film, and then also like towards the end it wasn't as much like rain and stuff, but it did still have like the nice colorful like glass areas and stuff in the final fight scenes and stuff. So I really liked all the settings. Even Casablanca, like, it's not even bad. It's just the weakest, I would say, because like it does get a bit. It's just not as visually appealing as like the other areas that I mentioned. So the settings overall, just also the expansion of the world, just the fact that they like it could. Setting also includes the world itself. So like the world expansion, like from the first movie, like the first movie is like you get a sense of this criminal underworld, and then in each movie they do such a great job of just like building on the like the world that they've established. You got like now the tickets that John has, like you establish the ninja factions, the homeless. You get to see more of them. You get more of the high table and understanding how it works and stuff. The whole excommunicado thing into effect. It's just overall, I'm gonna give it, and the setting is honestly, I would say 8.5. Another 8.5. I would say it is amazing. Yeah, moving on to the action. This is what this franchise is known for. You get just spectacular action in this. You got just so many good sword scenes, gun scenes, knife fighting scenes, horse chases, motorcycle chases. It's all just incredible. It's a solid 9 out of 10. I just really liked all the action scenes. The only one I would say, like once again in Casablanca, I thought the shootout scene, it went for a bit too long, but even so, it was still just, it was great. You got the dogs fighting and stuff that they get involved. It's just all the action. It's just what you come for this. It's what you come for this franchise for, and it just delivers every single time, no matter what the movie is. The suspense, I'm gonna give the suspense I'll give it an kind of between a 7.5 to an 8. I would say it's between very good and great. And I'll be generous, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think that it was suspenseful. You had a lot of moments where it's like, where just John is he's on the run. He's like trying to get out of like situations, especially at the start. Very tense, where it's like he has 5 minutes left before like the excommunicado starts, and he's like has to stitch his bullet wound and stuff. He's being like hunted down by everyone in the city. You know what it feels like? It feels like, for those of you who play Tabs, it feels like you get like one unit that's like really strong, like I don't know, like the Dark Peasant or something in Tabs, and then you just build an army to just go against this one like unstoppable unit. It's just really it's very suspenseful. It's like you see like this one guy, he's like extremely powerful, but you get so much, you could just throw so much at him, and it just makes you feel like and then towards the end you get like the guys in the body armor, the soldiers in the body armor, and then you're just like thinking like, okay, this is like when he walks back into the vault, he's like, I need more firepower. It's like you feel that, like, yeah, he's struggling here, like you want to see what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. In terms of the worst thing, there's nothing really bad about this. The worst thing I'm gonna say is, once again, the Casablanca. I think that area is just, it's not even bad, it's just my least favorite, and even then I would still give it like I would say like the whole Casablanca, just every part of Casablanca in the movie, I would probably still give like, I'll say I'm gonna give it a 7.5. It was very good still, even as the worst thing, Casablanca, it's still a 7.5. In terms of the best thing, there's just so much to like about this. I don't even know what to pick. I'm just gonna probably say, I'm thinking, should I reuse the action score, or should I pick out something in particular that I liked? I can't really off the spot, nothing really stands out as like the best thing per se, but so yeah, I'm just gonna reuse the score for action, 9 out of 10. It was just really incredibly good. Before I do the calculations, this is the most notes I've ever written for a movie up to this point. Like, I wrote just an incredible amount of notes. Once again, the city, rain, and the colors just all look amazing. The library fight against John versus Ernest, just really good. Him fighting with books, it's just, he can fight with anything and it looks cool. The knife fight, one of my favorite fights in the entire franchise. It's just amazing when it's like, yeah, the final, there's one guy in particular where it's like, he gets a shot off, but then he misses, and then John just shoots like 1 knife, 2 knife, 3 knife, and then the 3rd knife goes into his head, and it's just wonderful. Loved it. The knife scene, the knife fight, it's just, honestly, I think it is probably my favorite fight in the franchise, at least up to this point in the franchise. maybe in the next movie I will notice something that I liked more. The horseback fight with the motorcycle is just really cool, all of it. I like the belt where it's like when John, he ends up meeting with I think it was the director. They say like, okay, you have to take off all your weapons and stuff, and then he even has to take off his belt, which was good. It was nice foreshadowing for later on when he would use his belt to fight. This movie had some great lines. The whole like when John meets the director and he says like, you are bound and I am owed. That was a great line. All that I have served and I will be of service lines, like that a lot. What else? The ninjas, very cool. The world expansion, it worked really well. He wore black in the desert, John Wick, like when he was going to see the man above the high table, he ended up wearing like he was in a black suit, so even like it was hot then, he's in a desert, he's worn out from fighting so much, he's wearing all black, which is like the hottest color you can wear because it absorbs the most amount of sunlight. So yeah, wanted to point that out. King, he was just great throughout the entire movie, any scene that he was in. The 7 cuts, I watched when I used to watch CinemaSins, the most replayed videos that I would watch for them was the John Wick Cinema Wins, not CinemaSins, Cinema Wins videos. So I did it. They mentioned something like how when Zero ends up cutting King, it's like he's supposed to give him 7 cuts and then it's only 6, but then one of them is like a cut, like the camera cut, which I thought was cool. One flaw I will say, it's not really a flaw even, I don't really care at this point because I'm just used to it, but there is still a lot of like public killings where it's like they just will like kill just some random citizens in like the middle of the subway and just no one seems to notice or care. So I don't even really care at this point because it's just, I'm used to it by now. It was like I think in the next movie it's a bit more egregious where it's like in the middle of the street there's like cars going by, but it doesn't bother me. I'm not gonna lie. I was rewinding a lot. Like this movie, I think I started it at around like 1 o'clock and it's only a 2-hour movie. I think it ended up taking me like 3 hours to watch because I kept rewinding to rewatch scenes because there were just so many good scenes in this. Yeah, the armor stuff was cool. You got like finally some soldiers where it's like they don't go down in one shot. You have like an actual threat, it feels like, where it's like you have these armored soldiers going up against John and Sharon and other Continental workers. I will say it did feel a bit like John Wick does feel like he has some plot armor where it's like, okay, it does feel like he should have gotten shit. Like there was a scene where it's like he was in the middle of a room and there were like a ton of armored soldiers around him and he just like still ends up coming out alive after that, where it does feel like, I don't know, one of the soldiers would have got a shot off of him. So yeah, there were some underwater gunshot scenes with him versus some armor soldiers. Those were cool. The ending where it's like he falls off of the roof and then he meets with King, just wonderful. Loved it a lot. I really like this movie in particular because in the last two, yes, you specifically have like John against was his name Vigo? I think his name was Vigo. Vigo, and then in the last one, he went up against Santino. So I do like this one in particular because there isn't really a central bad guy against John. And I think that works well because John Wick himself, he feels like this force of nature that you do not want to go up against. So it's like, okay, what's more interesting? You have one guy with like, one guy with a lot of forces against John, who's like this force of nature. One guy versus a force of nature, or just an entire criminal underworld versus a force of nature. So I do think it works like really well where it's like you don't even have necessarily a central bad guy. You just have like the entire high table. Like you have the adjudicator who's like the representative of the high table, but it's not like, she's obviously not the one like that's really fighting. And you could say like Santino and Vigo. Vigo, he was like he did fight John in the end, and Santino didn't really. But I do like that. Like the high table feels like more of a threat. And I guess Santino was kind of the high table at the point where he, by the end of the last film, but like the adjudicator feels like a better representation of the high table. So yeah, that was it. A lot of notes I had, so I'm going to do the calculations. So King Crimson. All right, so it ends up coming out to about an 8.5 out of 10. That would be amazing, but you know what? I wouldn't even give it that. I'm not even being generous. This is just how I feel. Like I truly think that this movie is. I don't think I would go 9.5, which is the best, but I think I would go 9 out of 10. This movie is incredible. It is just really just so much to like about it. So many good moments. I think it works better than the first one. The first one, it feels like very simple and like a very straightforward story, like very not down to earth, but like it feels very like small. It feels like the first movie. The second movie feels like it's kind of like it does expand the world more, but it does kind of feel like it's not going far enough with like this movie feels like it just goes all out with like just everything it does, and the second movie feels kind of like more I don't know. Watch the video that I did on John Wick Chapter 2 if you want to hear my thoughts about the second movie. So yeah, yeah, this has been my review. That is pretty much all there is to it. I will get to the fourth movie and Ballerina probably hopefully in the next coming videos. But yeah, with that said, that is pretty much all there is to it. So let's leave it at that.